Climate change is a wake-up call to humanity. It's a wake-up call to move from the age of oil and the age of fossil fuels to the age of soil, of the earth, of us as earth citizens with capacities very, very different from the de-skilling that has gone hand in hand when fossil fuels have replaced human creativity. And sadly, that is what is defined as efficiency and productivity. It is not. Climate change is basically the residual externalities of a fossil fuel-centered economy. We know the consequences, that if nothing is done, temperature rise could be as high as 7 degrees. We know today there are storms and cyclones and droughts and flooding that is taking lives and damaging economies. But what is not talked about enough is that we have solutions. And these solutions come from the soil. That is why I wrote soil, not oil. We need to focus not just on an energy transition to move out of an energy system based on fossil fuel, but a food system, a lifestyle system that doesn't just phase out of fossil fuels, but phases into living more in alignment with the laws of nature, the laws of ecology, the laws of how the planet works to maintain her stability of climate patterns, of soil cycles, of carbon cycles, and nitrogen cycles. And that's where the soil comes in. There's a lot of talk in climate change about decarbonizing the economy. That's misleading, because we need to decarbonize the energy economy, but we need to recarbonize the food economy. Plants are largely carbon, but they're living carbon. Fossil fuels are dead carbon. Fossil fuels are black carbon. Plants are green carbon. And that distinction makes all the difference when we start to look for solutions. Fossil fuel-centered thought is allowing us to only think of a 50% solution. And the solution has to both reduce our emissions by getting out of fossil fuels, but even more importantly, it has to give us avenues to pull out the excess carbon we've put in the atmosphere where it doesn't belong, into the soil where it does, and organic farming can. With 2% increase in organic matter, which is what organic farming does, we can literally pull out all the excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But organic farming does much, much more. We are not just facing a climate crisis, we are facing a water crisis, we are facing a food crisis, we are facing a crisis of democracy, we are facing a crisis of farmers being driven to the edge, and in India 300,000 farmers committing suicide. We are facing a crisis of health, where 2 billion people are sick because of the kind of food they eat. As soon as you shift from the extractive logic of fossil fuels to the circular logic of returning carbon to the soil, following the law of return, we grow more and better food. This is the answer to food insecurity. We conserve water with a 1% carbon content increase in soil. We can put as much as 180 liters per hectare of water in the soil, which is the answer to dealing with drought. And this is the answer to water scarcity. It's the answer, of course, to climate change. But I think the most important issue is this, that it allows humanity to redefine progress from the idea of becoming more and more separated from the earth and ourselves to the recognition that true meaning and true well-being comes with our belonging to the earth, taking care of it, from a culture of carelessness, ignorance, and irresponsibility, to move to a culture of caring, a culture of knowledge, a culture of treading lightly on the earth for living better. Climate change does not have to be a sacrifice. It could actually be an invitation to change our paradigm from exploitation to caring, from economic growth measured in highly unreliable ways, to well-being for all species, including all humans. It's totally possible. The science is there, the practice is there, it's the will of the people. And the beauty about these solutions is people can start wherever they are. People don't have to wait till governments influenced by corporations keep making excuses to have a COP21 and a COP22 and a COP23. We don't have the time. That's why we must each make a commitment to change the way we think and the way we live, so that the earth can flourish, so can we.